What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Last games of the weekend. Well, last games of pre-season. A week to go till the season kicks off. The Premier League officially kicks off a week today.
Wow.
Can you believe it? World Cup, transfer window, everything is going to be a distant memory very, very soon as the Premier League and only 2 weeks left of the transfer window as well. So it's all about to get really real. Really real.
Time flies when you're getting as many bombers as we are.
Yeah, we haven't had one in a while, though.
That's why it's gone slowly over the last month. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone joining us on today's stream. A lot to talk about. Things are heating up. Things are heating up.
Things are heating up indeed.
And they're not just the weather.
The weather, probably the hottest of us all, is absolutely schwitzing in this studio. If you haven't already, go check out OK Jersey. They give you 10% off all their jerseys with the code Spurs. You can see this lovely home shirt that Sim has got on today. You can get that through OK Jersey. Make sure to order a size up if you are ordering. And one of you lucky, very lucky people will be getting a free shirt today as well, as we are running another giveaway here on We Are Tottenham TV. So all you have to do is fill in the form, which is also attached to the live stream, to the live chat, and you'll be in it to win it. Right at the end of the stream, we'll be doing another spin the wheel to find out who is the lucky person that will get their free shirt in the mail. But that is OK Jersey. Get your shirts today with the code Spurs, 10% off. A lot to get through today. Really is a lot to get through. We're obviously playing Hoffenheim tomorrow and on Sunday, which we're very much looking forward to. Obviously, you can catch the watch along right here live on We Are Tottenham TV. Me and Sim will be here for both games, so you don't want to miss that. And let's get into the Tottenham update first and foremost, and let's start off talking about Mohamed Kudus, yet to be seen in pre-season. But journalist Sam Tabitao says there is hope that Mohamed Kudus could play against Hoffenheim after returning to full team training following a serious quad injury. His return is being managed, with Roberto De Zerbi admitting the club initially rushed Kudus back before he suffered a setback in his recovery in April. So let's hope they're not rushing him back again. He has said, they are going to take caution with him. So whether he does play this weekend or not, I kind of envisage maybe we'll see some minutes from Kudus. I don't think it will be in the game on Saturday, maybe the game on Sunday.
Yeah, that's kind of my feeling, but him being back is massive, absolutely massive. Not only because we're short in the forward line, but also because how important he is to De Zerbi's system, how important he is to the quality we have on the wings. We've literally got no wingers at the moment. So if Mohamed Kudus can play any part or at least start the first game week, that is absolutely ginormous. We haven't seen Mohamed Kudus yet. Under De Zerbi, we haven't seen what he's capable of. Obviously, at the beginning of last season when he first joined, had some really good performances before Frank Ball really kicked in, you would have to say, and then all of a sudden it came, let's just pump the ball to Kudus' chest and hope he takes on three players and hope he can put in a cross and hope something can happen. And I think teams very quickly suss that out. But imagine Kudus with lots of opportunities to go one-on-one with his fullback, leaving spaces for the other forward players. Hopefully, if we get some through the door between now and the end of the window, I think it's going to be absolute havoc, and I think teams are going to really struggle to deal with him. He can go both ways. We all know what Kudus is capable of. So I think, yeah, it's very, very exciting, really exciting. I think it's been 6 months since we've seen him in a Spurs shirt. So not only was he our best attacker when he was here, I think he could go to a new level under De Zerbi.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is kind of like the rebirth of Mohamed Kudus' Spurs career, because yes, he was our best attacker, but he was so utilised in the wrong way, wasn't he? Like you mentioned, basically give it to Kudus and get him to channel in a Messi and take it round everyone and put the ball in the back of the net or lay it off for someone else. Now we're going to have a proper structure behind him and we're going to utilise him so well, and I can't wait to see it. I really can't.
Yeah, and in fact, this is probably as well the first time since he's come to the Premier League, he's going to be in a team who's more possession based, who's more the protagonists. Like when he was at West Ham, they were also more of a counter-attacking team. When he joined Spurs, it was during a time when we had Thomas Frank, and he was more playing on the counter-attack with limited chances to receive the ball. And I think now under De Zerbi, a team which basically functions to build up, inviting the pressure, then keeping the ball when we can and frustrating the opponent. And then once we give the ball over to Mohamed Kudus, he's going to be obviously tasked with taking on his fullback, creating things. And I can't wait to see what he's going to be capable of under Roberto De Zerbi. He's going to feel like a new signing, I feel.
Yeah, and our number one Kudus fan has just sent in a super chat as well. Nin Chow is back and says there are reports that De Zerbi wants to try and play him centrally, which is obviously, we spoke about this yesterday, but I think that's a bit of a mouth-watering prospect if James Maddison maybe is being eased in. If we can get Kudus on the pitch before Maddison, Kudus centrally, and then obviously hopefully the two new signings, which we'll get onto in a minute, with Gakpo and Savinho on the flanks. I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah, I think against teams who are going to go man-to-man, if you put Kudus centrally and getting some separation between him and his marker, or even not, even if he doesn't, he's obviously strong enough and good enough to hold off someone and turn on the ball effortlessly. We've seen him do it 100 times. So I can imagine in those scenarios, he is going to be incredible in those games. I think where he might struggle a bit is when teams obviously retreat into that low block and the space is a bit limited, and he's picking up the ball in and around the penalty area and asked to maybe pick a lock or maybe provide a bit of magic on the edge of the box. And I think in those moments he might find it a bit difficult to influence the game in the way we know he can. But I can imagine if a team is pressing us high, if they've got a centre back on Kudus' back and we just get the ball on the floor, Van Hecke is rolling the ball towards him, he just holds off the defender, turns him, and all of a sudden you open up all that space. And I think teams are going to really struggle to deal with that if we play him centrally. I think that's a mouth-watering prospect.
Something that I've been thinking about as well the last couple of days is, what do you reckon about Kudus in the false nine?
Yeah, I mean, we saw him. It wasn't false nine, but we saw him playing a front two in the Super Cup.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
That was a year ago out in Udine, and yeah, he was fantastic, wasn't he? And they found it really hard to kind of deal with. So I think him in the false nine, it's not something he's played lots of, but he has played up front before. He played there for West Ham even before. Yeah, I think that's something we should also consider in certain games. I remember there were certain games like Adama Traore used to play in the number 9, and it wasn't like something you'd play him every game, but there were certain games he was really effective. So I think Kudus could do that role.
I agree. So there you go. That is Mohamed Kudus. Let's get in to some transfer news now, people. And first up, we're going to talk about the protracted transfer of Cody Gakpo. There's been some developments today regarding Cody Gakpo, and the ever-reliable Dutch journalist Joost Blahoff, I think is how you pronounce it. Sorry, Joost, if I've got that wrong, but says that all parties are now becoming increasingly convinced that a move for Cody Gakpo to Spurs is very realistic. The chances of a deal going through now are considered high, although Liverpool still need to give the green light. Roberto De Zerbi has never wavered in his pursuit. It's Gakpo all the way. Gakpo has reached an agreement in principle with Tottenham Hotspur, who has stepped up their pursuit by making an approach to Liverpool. That has significantly increased the chances of Gakpo making the move from Liverpool to North London this summer. SZY says that Gakpo is happy with the personal terms presented by Tottenham Hotspur. Liverpool demands £70 million and will give the green light once an attacker arrives, which is understood to be soon. There's been no official offer submitted yet. So I think on the Liverpool side of things, it does look like Liverpool and Bradley Barcola is progressing quite nicely for them, which could open the door for Cody Gakpo to Spurs. It's very convincing and very good to hear that personal terms are all but agreed. And for what Joost is saying, it looks as though the chances are very high that Gakpo is going to be a Spurs player. Yeah,
there was also a report that Spurs have submitted a £60 million offer. I can't remember who that was from, but there was also that report. But obviously, I said why poured a bit of cold water on that, saying it's not true. Apparently, that £60 million offer anyway is set to be rejected. That's what the report was saying. Yeah, I mean, it is encouraging. It seems as though all the Dutch journalists from Joost anyway, from his side, he seems to be getting some really encouraging news, encouraging insight into this deal. So if that is the case, maybe there is kind of on both sides of this deal. Obviously, we know Tottenham are desperate for him. We know he's our number one target. The only stumbling block is whether Liverpool are going to be willing to let him go. So if they're hearing that, you know, there is encouragement on both sides that this deal is going to be done, it sounds like this, again, another one similar to Savino, moving in the right direction right at the right time. I mean, it'll be amazing we can get him in time for the Brentford game. That seems a bit unlikely at the moment, but that would be incredible. But if we can just get him through the door, it'll be I think he's going to be a phenomenal signing for us. So it looks like, I mean, I think Juice said yesterday we've expressed formal interest. So surely, obviously we've waited this long to do it. There's probably a reason for that. And surely we don't go ahead and actually express that formal interest unless we've maybe heard something behind closed doors.
Look, everyone was panicking. Spurs are not going to get their deals over the line. Shouldn't wait this long for GAKPO and Savino. And look, I was getting a bit worried as well. I was probably worried before most people. And then I was thinking to myself as well the last couple of days, you just got to remember what Roberto De Zerbi said. What did he say? I'm a shark in the transfer market. When I want a player, I get him over the line. And these two players, I think we will get over the line.
Yeah, I mean, once De Zerbi makes the call, once he wants someone, he won't let them go like a dog with a bone. And that's been proven right so far in this transfer window. Everyone we've really seriously gone after, he's been able to get, even players that we wouldn't have expected. So if he's going after Savino and GAKPO, I think he's going to get his man. And it seems as though that's moving in the right direction. It still seems a bit to do. I think Anfield Agenda, they posted a report saying from a Liverpool source that they've heard at the moment there's still no change in GAKPO and his stance at the current moment. But with their moves for Barcola progressing, maybe they're confident they'll get that second winger. Maybe they need, once they sign Barcola, maybe they need that little bit of cash to maybe get that second winger over the line.
Yeah, that's a high possibility, I would say. But yeah, look, in my opinion, you know, from the reliable journalists, it's very, well, Juiced is incredibly reliable. So you look at it and it's very positive for me and very, it looks like it's going in the right direction.
Could we get him before Brentford, do you think?
I think there's a high chance of it.
A high chance of it?
I think there is, because I think, you know, Liverpool are going to try and get, you know, Bradley Barcola in before that first game of the season as well. And I think Spurs are going to do their best to get GAKPO in as well. So I think there's a good chance of it. I
think the rumours are at the moment with Barcola that the serious moves are going to be made Monday next week, and things are going to start really rolling there. Obviously, PSG have just confirmed they're pretty much getting Ferran Torres and Mika Götze as well from Ajax. So that seems to be them getting their guys over the line. So they're preparing for Barcola's exit, it seems. And so they're expecting it. So it seems that the dominoes are falling.
Exactly. So I think I do think he's going to be a Spurs player by that first game. I really do.
We're going to go from who we're going to start against Brentford to bloody hell, we have too many options.
Savino now. So yesterday, there was reports breaking from Brazil that Spurs have submitted an £85 million. It said pound, but I assume it was euros. Surely that was a typo. Bid for Savino. Miguel Delaney said today that Savino is set to be secured for a fee of £65 million plus add-ons. Enzo Maresca has been speaking about Savino today in the press conference about his so-called illness, and he says that Savino was not part of the session on Thursday. He was a little bit ill. We'll see today. The session is in the afternoon. We'll see and we'll decide for tomorrow's game. I mean, I highly doubt this guy is ill.
No chance.
There is no chance this guy is ill, right?
Just happens to be ill.
You just see this every time. Like, so often when a transfer is in the works, some player just goes down with this magical illness. Yeah. Very convenient timing every time.
Yeah, it's obvious BS. I think they've got to say something to try and not make themselves look bad. But Savino, I think, is trying to force through this move. Obviously, we also heard today that Man City is still not making it easy for Tottenham to get this deal over the line. Sorry, that's what we heard last night. So that was
on the same report as the 85 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
so
then
I was like, that has got to be BS. That's got to be a BS report, because surely if Spurs are putting £85 million down on the table, Man City will roll the red carpet out for him.
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you? But it may be that, you know, Tottenham are putting another bid in. Obviously, Man City reportedly aren't going to sell him until they find a replacement. And even though the bid reportedly is extortion. If they're still not making it easy for Tottenham, maybe we've got into Savino's ear saying, look, you've got to have to try and do something here, because otherwise, if you don't start like causing a bit of trouble, like trying to force this move, there's a possibility it might not happen. So we've got to make sure we get you to Tottenham. You want to come here. And right now, Man City aren't playing ball, so you've got to do whatever you can to try and make Man City play ball at the moment. And I think this 85 million figure, I mean, I actually read the original report, and the original report said it was 600 million in some weird currency. I can't remember what currency it was. So I'm guessing some people used a currency exchange and came up with the 85 million pound figure. I've got a feeling it's 85 million euros. And also, that's probably including add-ons.
Yeah.
So,
which backs up what Miguel Delaney's saying, pretty much.
Yeah. So if it's 65 million plus 10 million, that's pretty much 85 million euros, isn't it?
Well, 85 million euros is 72.5 million pounds.
There you go.
So 65 plus, yeah,
7.
a bit less than 10.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So that's what I think. I think the report might be accurate, but it just is a bit less than what they're saying. So I think, yeah, I'm starting to believe now that this deal is definitely going to happen. I think the figures we're talking about are surely too much for Man City to kind of turn down. Surely it's too good for them to say no to, especially for a winger who's not going to be first choice next season. But also, in a weird way, the fact they're demanding so much kind of gives me the impression that they really know the talent they have, and they actually don't really want to sell him, and they understand Tottenham are getting a really good player here. So I understand the fee is going to raise a lot of eyebrows, and it is an overpay, whether it be 85 or 70, either of those figures, it's a very big overpay for probably what we should be paying for him. But I truly believe he's going to be worth the money.
Yeah, I think for Savinho, you want to pay in the ballpark. I think if you paid in the ballpark figure of £50 million, I think that's like a fair deal. So if we end up paying 65 plus a bit in add-ons, depending on what those add-ons are, I think it's a little bit of an overpayment, but it's not like crazy. 85 million is obviously nuts. Like
getting close to 100 million at that point.
If it is 85 million, would you still do the deal? 85 million pounds? At some point, you got to walk away.
Yeah, at some point you got to say no. I mean, if it's 85 million pounds up front, yeah, it would be hard. It would be hard to walk away because you're getting so used to the idea of getting Savinho through the door. But then again, who's the alternatives? Who are we turning to? But I agree. At some point, you have to put your foot down and say this is getting ridiculous. And I think 85 million pounds is probably there. So you probably do walk away from the deal at that point. But all of a sudden, you risk leaving yourself short. You'll risk getting someone who you don't think is as good. So maybe I would just do it.
Are you starting to get a bit more confident now we're going to get these two players over the line?
Well, we're getting positive reports now, which with the season fast approaching, we were hoping at this point you start hearing these are the kind of reports you want to hear. You know, he's trying to, he's forcing the move. You've got the GAKPO one as well. I was just worried these deals were going to rumble on till late in the window. The things that we were hoping to change weren't going to happen, and all of a sudden we're holding a bag of money with no one to spend it on. So I was getting scared of that possibility, but it seems as though there is real confidence now that these deals are going to happen, and they might happen quicker than we think, and that would be great.
Yeah.
In terms of what you were saying about 50 million, by the way, like Liam Delap, apparently that's what Chelsea want for him. So like, I don't know. I mean, that's a player they want to sell. That's a player they're really looking to get rid of, but you know, Man City don't want to get rid of Savinho, and we're desperate for him. So it's an interesting one.
The market is just so crazy. You've got like players going for less and more, and I just don't understand this market. I really don't. Like it's just ridiculous. Some of the fees being banded about, and then you've got like Jed Spence and Romero going for what they're going. It's just like so up and down, isn't it?
I mean, the likelihood is Spence and Romero are going to go for less than, both combined are going to go for less than Savino.
No, didn't it? But also, like when you take into account, let's say we sign Cody Gakpo for 70 million, we sign Savino for 70 million, 140 million on Gakpo and Savino is crazy money as well.
It's a lot of money, but we can afford it.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to put us in financial ruin, and we could even spend more on top of that, considering the sales we're getting, and potentially even more sales coming through the door. So, at the end of the day, if they're his first choice targets, it's worth doing, isn't it? It's worth getting them over the line. It improves the attack significantly. Is it a lot of money? Yes, but in this market, what does 140 million actually get you if we were to go elsewhere? I don't really know.
Yeah, particularly when there's such a low birth of options as well.
Exactly.
So, there has actually just been another update on Cody Gakpo from the Dutch side of things, from a account called Rick Elfrink, who's a PSV journalist, and he says Cody Gakpo definitely open to move to Tottenham. He spoke with Roberto De Zerbi last month. Liverpool are now willing to consider a sale for Gakpo. So
De Zerbi's phone
right
bill.
Direction.
I hope we're paying for it. I hope we're paying for De Zerbi's phone bill because he is doing the Lord's work.
He's got 3 minutes, mate.
He's got 3 minutes. Fantastic. I mean, he seems as though everyone's been talking to De Zerbi that we want behind closed doors. Tapping up doesn't exist anmore, does it? Because if it did, we would be having a transfer.
When Spurs are doing it.
Yeah.
That's when it only exists for Morgan Gibbs White.
Yeah. So. What's great again? Two players who've had apparently multiple conversations with De Zerbi, and they're both convinced to come to Tottenham. Both currently playing for bigger clubs as well. And I understand right now maybe they're both not first choice, but still, in maybe a year ago or years gone by, convincing clubs these players, even if they were fringe players, to leave bigger clubs to come to Tottenham would have been a tough sell. But it seems as though we got them lining up to come to Spurs. It's brilliant.
Also, back on the point that you were making about City clearly know that they're letting a good player go. I mean, that was evident last summer. They didn't. They blocked the move, didn't they?
They
completely blocked the move. So I think that was pretty obvious in terms of what City think of Savino, in my opinion. Let's talk about the two outgoings. Jed Spence has arrived in Milan last night, as you can see on the images. That's him arriving at Milan airport to the journalists that are waiting to take his picture.
He fits right in, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was funny because he said he comes out and he was like, gracias, buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
And then he said, see you soon.
Do you reckon he's been learning Italian for a while? It doesn't seem like it.
He knows, I reckon.
There he is. He's looking fly. Look at him. Looking fashionable in one of the fashion capitals of Europe. He's going to love it.
Yeah. Look, I wish him all the best. I really do. It's a shame how it all worked out and how he had to leave this summer. But, he'll go on to better things and we'll go on to better things as well. So,
do you reckon there's a chance at some point he goes to someone bigger than Inter coming for him if he smashes it out? Or do you think Inter's
Well, I mean, who are we talking about here? Like Barcelona, Real Madrid,
maybe a top
Man
Premier League
City.
club, Liverpool or something.
I thought he could have gone to Liverpool this summer.
Yeah, but he didn't. Clearly, they didn't want him that much. There was clearly still doubts about him. But if he goes to Inter and smashes it, I wonder if there could be another big move in
Unless
the
Liverpool, I mean, there weren't credible reports about it, but maybe Liverpool were actually interested and Spurs would rather sell abroad for a cheaper price.
And what would you feel about that if that's true?
I mean, I've always said I'd prefer to just get the most money, but if I'm not bothered about it too much, I would have preferred to get bigger money. But if the club can afford what they want to do and it's not going to hurt them too much, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when it comes to Spence, I like it. I like that they're selling him abroad. I know it's less money, but if they feel that it's enough money for us to get what we want to get done, then it doesn't really matter. Unless the money that we're getting is going to prevent, if we're not getting that fee that we could, and that's going to prevent us from future signings, then you got to think about it. But if they can afford to only get 30 instead of maybe 40, and that still doesn't affect what we're going to do with GAKPO and SAVINHO and whoever else, then sell him abroad because it doesn't improve our rivals.
Yeah, look, I guarantee you we haven't seen the last of Spence in the Premier League. He will be back at some point, and he probably will be back at one of the big clubs. I don't see him coming back unless he proper stinks the place out at Milan and goes to a lesser club than Tottenham. I think he will be a club on Tottenham's level or above. Yeah,
I think they'll like him at Milan, but I also think he's not kind of what they've had before. Like when you compare him to Hakimi and you compare him to Dumfries, those are real kind of animals when it comes to in the final third, like getting in those positions and assists and goals, and they've been really good in those aspects. Whereas Spence is a bit different to that. So I think
in Serie A he'll be able to do it better than he did in England.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting whether he develops that side of the game enough or not. I think it's just not really his game. So I wonder if they'll start to get frustrated with that because they're used to a wing-back who really gets in the box and attacks and scores goals and stuff, and he's just not that.
Thing is, right, for England, he was doing that pretty well. You know, he was getting in good positions. He was finding men in the box. He was taking shots on and stuff like that. You know, I think he can develop that side to his game better, and I do think he has it in his locker. I just felt like maybe we were using him a bit wrong when he was at us. I think we used him more as a defensive fullback, but before he joined Spurs, he was known for his attacking play. So I do think he can do it. I really do. And then finally, Cuti Romero has landed now in Madrid ahead of his medical today. So yeah. Happy days.
No, is there any picture of him or anything like that?
No.
Yeah. So I'm guessing over the weekend we'll get 2 announcements.
Yeah, the real question is that when you're taking the sticker off your laptop?
When I get a new one. People acting like I've got Jack the Ripper on my laptop, as Harry Redknapp would say.
Yeah, you pretty much do.
Yeah, I pretty much do, right? Yeah, so I think as much as the fees are disappointing, as we said yesterday, if you look at the overall package of the window, you know, we're getting close to that £200 million mark. So there's plenty of money there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So we've done really good with the sales, I think, overall.
I've never known Spurs to sell this well at all. Like, it's mad, the price I would say. Like, I saw yesterday about Arsenal and Martinelli, like a bid of like 35 million came in for him. Like, we sold Lancashire for 20 million.
No,
we
it's
sold
crazy.
50 million. It's like Spurs this summer have become an unbelievably well-run selling club. So whoever's involved in it, Rafi Mawson, Lange, Vinay, deserve, whoever it is, like, they deserve massive props. Massive props. All right, that is your Tottenham updates, and let me know in the comments section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have heard today. You never know, a bomber could just be round the corner at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And yeah, if I asked you to predict now in the next week, how many bombers we're getting, how many here we goes we're getting
in the next week, I reckon Savinho comes in time for Brentford. I'm not sure about GAKPO, but I think Savinho does, and I think GAKPO maybe in time for just after the Carabao Cup game.
Okay, so the Carabao Cup game is obviously next Wednesday, but how many days before the end of the window is that? How many days before the end of the window? So Wednesday the 26th, so it'll be just under a week to go for the rest of the window. Do you think that's it then? Savinho and GAKPO, we're not going to get anyone else?
I think it depends if we can get rid of one of Solanke or Rishi. I don't think we sign a striker if they're both here. I get a feeling. As much as I don't want that to be the case, I think we should sign regardless and let one of them rot in the under-21s. Or whatever, or just like be third choice. I get a feeling if we can't get rid of them, we're just going to hang on to both of them.
We'll see what
and
happens.
Hope we can keep them both fit and hope they can score goals. I hope that doesn't happen.
But look, let's move on because we have a game to talk about tomorrow, people. Tottenham against Hoffenheim, round 1. We've got the round 2 coming up on Sunday. So the first game kicks off 3 o'clock at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of a full house, I believe. And then the second game will be at Hotspur Way behind closed doors. This is your predicted lineup, people. So, what are we thinking? What are we thinking, people, for the predicted lineup? We're going for a 4-2-3-1 formation as per usual. It's very interesting because we were looking at the training video just before and we used the bib theory that we used on a previous predicted lineup, which was absolutely spot on. We were trying to look at who's got the bib, who doesn't have the bib. It looked like the guys without the bib are going to be starting tomorrow. They look like the stronger players. But in that, Mohamed Kudus and James Maddison both didn't have bibs on. So it's very interesting.
Maybe there's a little inkling there, albeit the only players we really saw with bibs were centre mids and centre backs. So we didn't really see who else did or didn't have bibs. So we can kind of predict pretty accurate, I think, who's going to play centre mid and centre back. But I think the other ones we're just going to have to use a bit of guesswork.
So 4-2-3-1, Antonin Kinski in goal, our new number one. He hasn't been given number one shirt yet, but hopefully he will do soon. Surely he's going to be given the number one shirt when Vicario leaves.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he might just stick with the 31, and then once he's established himself, he'll get the number one. It might happen. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see when the numbers come out.
So Antonin Kinski in goal. Right back, we are going back to Archie Gray. Pedro Porro is back in the building, but this game might come a bit too soon for him. Maybe a few minutes off the bench, or maybe he plays in the second game. But yeah, he's just come back yesterday. I think it's just a bit too soon for him. Yeah,
I agree. Archie Gray's been an able deputy. Right now, he is our backup right back, as with Spence leaving. So he is going to have to fulfill that role until we sign someone, or he might just be the guy for the season. We'll have to wait and see how it moves forward. So I think he's done a good job there, and I think he's going to play again on Saturday. Right centre back, we are going to Jan-Paul van Hecker. I think he's been brilliant in the pre-season games that we've seen him so far. That passing ability has really been on show, hasn't it? And fantastic. Good to have him here. Yeah, the only thing I'd say is defensively against Getafe, didn't cover himself in much glory with the goal, but hopefully that's a bit of a learning curve. But even in that game, I loved what I saw from him. He's a really good passer, and I think De Zerbi knows exactly how to use him as well. He knows how to play under De Zerbi, so I'm really looking forward to him getting his feet under the table in that position. And to partner him, Mickey van der Ven has not been in training. You know, even in that clip of Porro getting the lap of honour, he wasn't in his training gear. Everyone else was in the training gear, so wondering what's going on with Mickey van der Ven. But that brings a first start, or a first appearance in Spurs colours, to Marcos Senesi. And I'm starting to think now these two are going to start the season for us. Yeah, I get that feeling, because Van der Ven is clearly struggling with something. We saw him kind of in the gym, and Xavi posted a video of him doing some sort of recovery, so clearly he's not 100% just yet, obviously coming back from the World Cup, playing at left back and everything. So it might just be for a week or so, or maybe a couple, that Senesi starts, but that's why we bought him, because we have no worries putting him in. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be great to see him alongside Van Hecker at centre-back. That passing ability is going to be nuts. I'm actually so excited to see it. And the beauty of when you sign a player like Senesi, it means you don't have to rush Mickey back. You can just give him all the time he needs to be 100%, and then once he's back, then he's got competition for places. But that's why you sign quality depth. Left back, still no sight of Destiny Udogie. Haven't seen him in any of the training footage or anything like that. So yeah, Andy Robertson to get another start. Yeah, it's gonna. I think he's had a bit of a mixed pre-season. Still needs to get up to absolute speed, but there's been some good. But I think definitely defensively, you're starting to see some holes there. So hopefully against Hoffenheim, he locks it down a bit better. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the back four that we're going for: Archie Gray, Jan-Paul van Hecker, Marcus Senesi, and Andy Robertson. In the midfield, right side of the double pivot will be Sandro Tonali. I think Tonali has been so good so far in pre-season. Really has that element of control, and I think he's so much better on the ball than anyone that we've had already. And still Mateus Fernandes to be added into that. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from Sandro Tonali. Yeah, I think it just adds that little bit of quality that we haven't seen ever since for a long time in central midfield. Just someone who's so comfortable on the ball, comfortable passing in between the lines. Look, he's not perfect yet. I think he's got levels to go from what we've seen, but he just adds that little bit of extra technical ability, and he's got incredible engine as well. I think he's been really exciting during pre-season. And alongside him, I mean, it's just going to be Lucas Bergvall. If we go with the non-bib theory. Yeah, Lucas Bergvall was not wearing a bib in the training, and also I think he's done himself well with the way he's kind of conducted himself over pre-season. I think he's been really good whenever he's been on the pitch. So hopefully De Zerbi sees him as a proper option. I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does.
And good option to have, Lucas Bergvall. And I think the dynamic between him and Tonali seems good already.
Do you think there's a chance? Obviously, right now he's been starting a lot of the other preseason games, and potentially he starts tomorrow. If he does start tomorrow, obviously Fernandes has been fatigued or struggling with something, and he might play the behind closed doors game. But if Bergvall was starting tomorrow, is there a chance he starts game week 1? Do you think De Zerbi's trying to send him a message like, if you're playing and you're playing well, I know I've signed Fernandes, but I will give you opportunities. I'm not going to just put Fernandes in, just because I've signed him for 85 million. If I like what you're doing, you're going to play.
I think it depends. I think it highly depends on how Fernandes gets on in the second game. But I think he's playing him there because that's the next option available. Obviously, Bentancur, he could play Bentancur, I guess. He could play Pape Matar. He could play Conor Gallagher there. He could play, a multiple players. So I guess, he is trying to put some trust in Lucas Bergvall, and obviously with the protracted transfer to Forest and Newcastle and all that kind of stuff. I think he is trying to say, look, you've got a future here. You will get minutes. But what I would say is if Fernandes comes out of that, the second game, or if he comes on this game, whatever, and he's looking good and he's fit enough to start Brentford, I do think he will start Brentford.
I think if Bergvall has a good game starting in this one, I think he starts against Brentford. I reckon it's like, I think he's really trying to convince him, like, you're not just going to be an extra shirt. You're going to be one of my options. And if you're playing well, I will play you. And there's a lot of talk about there's been a lot of close contact with De Zerbi and Bergvall over this pre-season. He's giving a lot of advice. And obviously there's a lot of talk about him trying to convince Bergvall to stay at Tottenham, although there's a lot of interest in him. And I think he's been starting him. And I think potentially he could start him even game week 1 to try and send that message to Bergvall. Like, I know I've signed Fernandes, but if you're playing well, I'm not going to just drop you just because he's here.
Yeah, look, it's a big possibility. I'm not ruling out at all, but I just get the feeling if Fernandes is, up to speed, I think he will start. But look, we'll see in a week's time. We'll see in a week's time. In the 10 is an interesting one because Maddison was not wearing a bib. Conor Gallagher was not really pictured, but he was there. So could James Maddison start this game?
I would love to see it. I don't think he will because I don't think he's going to start game week 1. I think he's going to play a team most closely because it's a week away from the season. So I think he's going to play the team most closely to what he's going to start against Brentford. That's what I think is probably in his mind.
This team with Porro, basically.
Essentially. So I think Gallagher's going to start that game because he's been playing most of pre-season. I obviously Maddison hasn't played. So I think Maddison, if he does start any game, he's probably going to start the second game behind closed doors so he can manage him a bit better in a more controlled environment. So he might be on the bench for this one, which I hope, and I hope he comes on and has some game time. I would love to see it, and I would love to see him start if he's ready. But if I was to predict, I'm still going to go Gallagher because I think Gallagher starts game week 1.
Yes, the bib thing just threw me off a little bit because I agreed with you. I thought Gallagher, when we first were talking about it, I thought, Gallagher surely is going to start this game. I think he started every single pre-season game so far, Conor Gallagher. Maybe one he missed out. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that no bib thing with James Maddison did throw me off a little bit. And I'm thinking, is there a slight chance that Maddison could actually start this game?
But we didn't see the bibs for anyone but the centre mids and centre backs. So I don't know if you can read too much into any other players having bibs or not. Because we didn't see any fullbacks, whether with a bib or not. And we didn't see any forward players or number 10s with a bib or not. It was literally just centre mids and centre backs.
We saw Robertson without a bib.
No, but again, that you can't read into that because we didn't see any other fullback with a bib. You know what I mean? So we don't know.
We don't have any other fullbacks.
Yeah, it's also true. But I'm just saying, like they had a little training session, clearly working on build-up, and it was only centre backs and centre mids in that little training session. That's the only people we saw with bibs or not. So we can confidently predict that, but I think everyone else we don't really know.
There also could be a case where they could announce James Maddison as captain tomorrow.
True, and then you probably want him in the team, don't you?
Leading the team out. So I think Gallagher probably is the safer bet to put in the 10. He probably will start, but there is a part of me that thinks James Maddison might actually start this game. But let's go for Gallagher.
I think it's Gallagher. I'm pretty certain. I would love it, but I would love to be wrong. I'd love to be surprised and Maddison leads the team out. That would be amazing. But I think, Yeah, I think he wants the team to be up to speed as much as possible for Brentford, and that means Gallagher should probably start.
Right-hand side of the attack, Mohamed Kudus also wasn't wearing a bib.
He also wasn't wearing a bib. True.
Could Mohamed Kudus start? If it's not Mohamed Kudus, it's most likely going to be Mikey Moore.
Yeah, we don't really have any other options. And to be fair, he is still here. And why is he here? He's probably here to play these games.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we're not 100% sure about the winger situation. We're trying to get players through the door. So I think for now, more players. Maybe Kudus either on the bench or starts the second game. But I think Moore is here because he's kind of covering right now, and he could even be in line to start game week 1 if things go not the way we want. So it'll be interesting. So I think Moore starts. I think if we get Savinho and or GAKPO next week, he probably goes on loan. If we haven't got either of them in time for Brentford, and if Kudus isn't ready, there's a chance he starts.
Yeah, there is.
I think that's why he'll probably start this game, just in case
we
of
need
that
to get this
eventuality.
business done before the first game at Brentford. And even if you do get the business done, let's say Savinho comes in this weekend or whatever, not very long on the training pitch, is there?
No, it's true. But I think even Savinho playing catch up is probably going to be more effective than Moore, unfortunately for Mikey.
It is. It's like saying, like, sometimes you bring in players in the January transfer window or late in the transfer window, and they get put straight into the team.
Look at Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey van der Ven was signed, and the next day he was starting.
Yeah,
and he was unbelievable. So I think with Savinho as well, the positive thing about Savinho is that he's been going through pre-season all summer. He's been playing games. You know what I mean? It's not coming in out of the cold and hasn't had a pre-season.
Good point.
So,
good point.
He'll be up to speed in terms of his fitness, but maybe just not tactically 100% just yet. So Mikey Moore on the right. On the left-hand side, I think that's a pretty easy one. Matisse Tell had a really strong pre-season so far, so let's hope he can carry this on in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, and I think this is it's kind of a big game for him. Obviously, I think he probably starts Brentford anyway, but with 2 potentially new attackers coming through the door to upgrade the attack, he's got to show that he could be as good as those players, and he's still an attacking option. He's not just here to make up the numbers. He's not here to sit on the bench. Obviously, we're signing GAKPO and Savinho to start, no doubt about it, and Tell knows that. But this is also a massive season for him and his Spurs' future. And I think this is quite an important game just to show De Zerbi, as much as you're getting these guys, I'm also here. I'm still an option. I can be just as good as those players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's been doing that so far. You've really seen he's playing with a point to prove, in my opinion. You can really see that kind of fire in his eyes right now. So it's great to see. But that is the 3 behind the striker that we're going to go for in Mikey Moore, Conor Gallagher and Matisse Tell. I mean, not the strongest kind of 3 that you want to see in the week before the curtain raiser of the Premier League. But here we are. And then up front, I think is also a pretty simple one because Dominic Solanke has not been pictured in training at all. Richarlison was there, so it's got to be Richarlison.
Yeah, that's our prediction. As you say, there's rumours that Solanke's returned to training, but the video I don't think we saw him.
But even with the players walking in, you saw Richarlison there, but you didn't see Solanke.
Yeah, he was there when he was welcoming Porro. You saw him
in training kit as well.
In a training kit, so he might have been doing gym work. Maybe he was out there and just wasn't on the video. But I think right now, Richarlison started the last friendly. We don't know if he's 100% ready to play Solanke, so we're going to go Richarlison again.
Yeah. So this is the lineup we anticipate will face Hoffenheim on Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. Antonin Kinski in goal, Archie Gray at right back, Andy Robertson at left back, a back 2 of Jan-Paul van Hecke and Marcos Senesi, Sandro Tonali and Lucas Bergwijn on the double pivot, Conor Gallagher in the 10, Mikey Moore on the right, Matisse Tell on the left, and Richarlison up top. Hoping for a big performance in front of a packed Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Hopefully the vibes will be absolutely immaculate. What is the prediction? What score prediction are you going for?
Have we scored more than a goal in any friendly?
We scored 2 against Chelsea.
We did score 2 against Chelsea. Fair play. Just about. So let's go. I'm going to go clean sheet 2-0.
2-0. I think it's going to be a 1-0 job. I just can't see many goals in this tide. I really can't. You know, Mikey Moore hasn't been so great so far in pre-season. Maybe he's fitter now and he'll look a bit better. Richarlison, you can always say he can pop up with one, and hopefully Matisse Tell will be the one to provide it for him. But I think, maybe we'll get one with Gallagher pressing. So, yeah, and you know what? I'll agree with you. 2-0 Spurs. 2-0 Spurs. Let us know your score predictions in the comment section below. Let us know what you think the lineup is going to be. What lineup is Roberto De Zerbi going to pick for the penultimate pre-season game before the Premier League starts? A couple of super chats I think came in as well.
Plettenberg's just on an update on GAKPO.
What's he said?
Tottenham are in very concrete talks with GAKPO and have already made contact with Liverpool. However, a source close to the player currently denies that any agreement has been reached. A move to Spurs is nevertheless a serious option for GAKPO.
Okay.
So no agreement just yet. He's coming. He's coming for sure.
So there was a super chat here from Liston Hines saying, we must have begun our Savino chase back when Rory Jennings was still on EastEnders. It's ridiculous. Has there been anything like it? I mean, we've had quite a few long, protracted transfers before.
Look at Gallagher. He moved to another club and then seems to end up coming. So we've had a few, but yeah, this is a very long one, that's for sure.
But look, we are about to do the live giveaway, people. We're going to do the live giveaway now. So if you haven't got in there now, it is too late. I'm about to send the names over. So you've got about a second to get in if you want to. Well, about 10 seconds, I would say, to get in if you want to be in on this live draw.
But you're in it to win it. A free shirt is up for grabs, people. Come on. If the wheel lands on your name, you'll be winning a Tottenham replica shirt. Come on.
Double spin?
Double spin. You want another double spin? We'll save that for a friendly. We'll spin for every goal. Which, knowing Tottenham at the moment, might not spin at all, but we'll see.
All right.
What is the chat saying? A lot of people saying, I'm in. Dean's in. JTB is in. MDV is in. Anko's in. Tux2488, he's in.
You guys keep joining.
A lot of people saying, I'm Aussie Min in. Aussie in. Aussie, that's terrible, whoever's telling that. Unless there's been an Ossiman update. Wow, a lot of people are in, ready to get a shirt. Oh, who else is sweating buckets out there? Antonis says, I'm in from Greece. Nitsky says, I'll cover shipping to the US if I win. Very nice of him.
What a very nice gesture.
Very nice gesture.
All right.
Theo Sanders says, SAVINHO.
Yeah, I've just sent you another list. That's loads of names. What are you talking about? There's 2. People just keep joining, so I'm just going to keep sending you until
forever.
Until you've put them in.
That's the last one. Any more?
One more, Adrian. That's it. All right, Adrian is the last entry. Adrian, you just about got in there. Just about. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Bring on the wheel.
Where's it going to stop? Nobody knows. Let's go.
All right, we're spinning. We are a spinning. It is Jordan.
Jordan. Just Jordan. So Jordan didn't put in his full address.
Not one of these again. Can you guys give us your full address? We can actually get it to you. Did he give any for who's he? George, just
Got
Jordan.
his YouTube handle.
Just Jordan. Are you in the chat, Just Jordan? Are you there? Show yourself.
Oh shit.
What?
Shit.
Just Jordan, where are you? Send in a comment. Who is Jordan? Definitely rigged. Where's Jake?
Just Jordan is in the chat. There he is.
He says hi. You won, mate. Just hi. Just come on, give us something. Yay. There you go.
Just Jordan, send us your full address and we'll get a shirt out to you.
Or send us an email or drop us a DM on socials and we'll get that to you, Just Jordan.
Exactly. But apart from that, that is all we have for you today. Another shirt given away for you guys. Big transfer news happening. Predicted lineup. So we'll see you all tomorrow for the live watch along, people. 3 o'clock kickoff. We'll be going live around 2:45. Very much looking forward to it. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.